Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show here on KOXE. I am Derek Stuckley, along with Brownwood Lions head football coach, athletic director Sammy Burnett. How are you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm doing so good I can't stand it, Stuckley.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yes,
Good.
absolutely. Feeling great.
Really?
Wonderful day.
Well, that's good. That's good. I see you brought more of the staff with you today.
I did. Figured it was a great opportunity since we got a little bit of downtime before we get going to let some guys come in, let some people hear them, what they coach, where they're from, whatever question you want to ask them. The ugly one on the end there that's half of a Wilson, but that's Marvin Wilson, son of the legendary coach Rick Wilson, who coached when I was a Brownwood Lion. And then right beside me is Chance Phillips. Marvin, let me back up, is defensive coordinator. He coaches the D-line. And then Chance Phillips is our tight ends and what we used to call an old school fullback, but now we call it a sniffer. He's in charge of all tight ends and sniffers.
All right. Well, let's start with Coach Wilson first and the defense. A lot of new faces on the defense this year. Just let's kind of talk about how things are shaping up heading into the first practice.
Well, you know, our kids have worked their tails off during the summer. Brownwood kids don't know anything but go to work. We do have a lot of new ones. We lost some good ones that are going to be hard to replace, but our kids are stepping up, and they're going to – we won't miss a beat. They're going to step up, do their jobs, and we'll just keep rolling.
Of course, defensive line, obviously some new faces there. Just kind of talk about that a little bit and how that's looking.
We've got a couple new ones, but we've still got a couple old ones. So that's always positive when you got some leadership that's been there and done that. Robert Trowbridge, Weston Wolf, both of us did us an outstanding job last year. You know, we've got to move in a couple other ones to fill some spots. Weston goes both ways. He needs a little bit of a breath here and there. We've got to have some others. But I've got no doubt that we have the kids that'll step up and continue to plug gaps and give those quarterbacks, running backs a tough time.
As far as the rest of the defense is looking, linebackers, secondary, how's that shaping up?
You know, we've got a lot of new linebackers. But, again, these guys that are coming, they've played it. You know, our JV kids last year that are coming, 10-0, I mean, gave everybody fits. And, again, they play hard. And they're going to step right up in there. You know, Brinson Martin, I'm excited to watch Brinson. He's a little bit thicker Sam Coleman, I think. And Sam was a heck of a player for us. And I think Brinson's going to step in and fill Sam's shoes. We've still got some guys vying for the other outside backer spots. Our secondary, you know, we lost Cello. It's hard to replace a Cello, a tall, athletic. But again, we've got young kids that are hungry for that opportunity, and I believe they're going to, you know, step in, and it may not look the same, but the outcome will still be positive.
Okay. Of course, you're back in Brownwood. Just what's it mean to you to be coaching here again?
It's one of those things. It's in your blood, and if it's in your blood and you understand Brownwood football, boy, it's hard to give up. And I knew when Coach Burnett gave us the opportunity a couple years ago, this is the place my kids needed to be. We got to coach in an all-star game, and my oldest son asked him after the game, am I going to get to be a Brownwood Lion or not? And right there I thought, the Lord may be fixing to open the door. You know, and it did. The next spring comes around, and he had the position, and we had the availability, and it was easy to pull this trigger. So, good for a family.
Well, we're glad to have you back. Coach Phillips?
Yes, sir.
So kind of tell us about the tight ends, the snippers, and all the people that you've got under you.
All righty. Man, I'm really excited this year. I'm going to have a very deep tight end room, talent-wise, and, you know, just it's going to be a group of hard-nosed kids coming up, and that's kind of what I need. Need someone who's not afraid to get in there and mix it up with the big kids, protect our pretty prima donnas, but also get out there and make a play for us with, a reception or whatever that may be. I got 2 returners that were starters for us, played, 80% of every game last year, in Weston Wolf and Aiden Driscoll. Really looking for those 2 guys to lead the room. And I got lucky. Brinson Martin is also in my group. And another name to look for is Robbie Robinson. He's a tough, big, hard-nosed kid. They both put on a lot of weight this offseason. I'm telling you, I think Brinson cleaned 300 pounds, and that's a heck of a hang clean. So he's an explosive kid, hard-nosed, he's smart. Robbie's athletic, hard-nosed. He bench pressed 295 this last max out. So, I'm blessed. Got the hardest working kids in Texas, and I got some of the hardest working ones in my group.
Of course, tight ends are kind of different in every offense. Just kind of talk about the role of the tight end in the Brownwood offense.
Man, this is what I tell them all the time. With no block, no rock. We are blocking first. We're protecting our guys first. We are mashing people off the ball. And then, when we get them suckered, we can pop them with a little flat, little dump, or, run down the field and hurt them bad with the streak over the top.
Of course, you being one of the younger coaches on staff with these 2 old guys, just kind of talk about what it's like to be on a staff like that and how they kind of help you along.
Again, it's another blessing. There's so much wisdom and so much I've learned in the last 3, going into my 4th year being here. They've really taken me under their wing, taught me a lot about the game, but they've also taught me a lot about, being a good leader for our kids. How to be an example. What you do when people aren't looking, what you do when people are looking. There's a lot of life lessons and getting wisdom about being a man and being a coach that they share.
Let everybody know your background, high school, college, how you got to Brownwood.
All right, so graduated from Scurry Rosser High School. Walked on, played a little baseball at Blinn College in Brenham for about 1.5 years till I realized I was outclassed and my back was giving me fits. But that is neither here nor there. I'm related to the Jacobs family, Tim Jacobs to Kerry Jacobs, and most people know Weston from Weekly Watson. But I was in a bad place. I'm not going to talk negative about the school or name it. I was in a bad spot. I was kind of looking for a job, and my uncle said, "Hey, there's an opening in Brownwood." He said, "You should apply for it." So I did. I guess he gave a good word to Sammy, got the interview, nailed it. The rest is history.
Another Brownwood and Brenham connection, huh?
Absolutely.
Funny how that
I was
works
like,
out.
well, I wondered, he's a Brenham boy.
There we
Right
go.
here.
He played for Jason Backlund. That's correct.
Yeah.
He sure
Oh,
did.
okay. All
He
right.
sure did.
All
Played
right.
for Jason.
It's all connected.
It's just
Oh,
all
yeah.
intertwined. Oh, what a tangled web we weave.
Definitely. Anything else you want to add about these guys, Coach?
Yeah, both phenomenal coaches. Did a great job on the field, with Chance and the tight ends, the development we had, the kids we had that he talked about with Aiden and with Weston and with Robbie and with possibly Brinson. 2 of those guys are going to be big parts of the defense. Hopefully Aiden can take over 100% of the role at tight end for us. Would be great, but yet he's also a defensive tackle for Coach Wilson, so he may be splitting time, so we'll make sure their time's put together properly if they're playing 2 sides of the ball. Brinson, like I said, is going to play. I mean, I think Robbie is athletic enough. He was a quarterback when he was younger, and then he's moved to some other positions, and he could play to the running back spot. But I'm wanting to look at him in the nose a little bit because he's just a tough kid, and he's got a mentality, and he wants to play, and he wants to be physical, and he's not afraid to go out there and mix it up. So we have a lot of versatility. They'll do a great job of figuring out who they feel needs to be on the field. We'll put it together. We'll meet, and we'll put our starting lineup out when that time comes. But we got a lot of friendly competition. One thing I stressed with Coach Denard this year, I really want to implement more passing game with our tight ends and our snippers to make people be accountable for them. We're progressing to a point where I feel that that's a need for us. So they're going to get more love in the passing game, but yet we have the guys that can do it. So that's really big. That pot, you throw the same ingredients in the pot every year, and you start to stir, and you hope to come out with the same soup, at the end of the season. And that's what we're doing. We got a great group of kids that know how to work. They're coming off great seasons, whether they were on the varsity last year, whether they're on the JV last year, whether they're on the freshman last year. Our kids have been successful from the 7th grade up the last several years, and they know one thing and one way to do it, and they're going to go out there and do it every day. We're going to throw those ingredients in that pot, stir it up, and those coaches will start sifting out the cream and putting it where it needs to be, and make sure that we got them in the right positions, and make sure we got them on the right team, and let them continue to progress and grow. And I have no doubt that they'll do that. We have a strong staff. They're very, like Coach said, there's a lot of experience. They know what they're doing. Most of the time, when I'm smart enough, I stay out of their way. But they go out there and they do a phenomenal job of coaching our kids, and excited with what they bring, and excited about what they're going to do for our kids, because we're going to have some kids develop in some different areas that they never thought they could or even considered, but they're going to help our team be more successful.
Of course, this is the last show before practice starts Monday. We've talked a lot of offense, a lot of defense. Haven't talked about special teams, and there's a big hole to fill at kicker and punter this year.
Absolutely. When you have Junior Martinez, he's tough to replace. He's been here for 4 years. He's been here over half the time I've been here. I'm starting year 7, and Junior's with us 4 years. But you got Eli Valenciano, who kicked on the JV. His leg's getting stronger. I think he'll do a phenomenal job for us. He's a kid that I've never seen a kicker that'll go in the weight room and work as hard as he does. Now, Junior's was an exception, too. Junior was a worker. Junior knew the stronger his legs were, and as he developed and got older, and he continued to mature as a young man, if he added the weights and the strength to that and the flexibility, his leg was going to be more powerful and gain more distance, which he did. And Eli just sort of followed in his shadows. He's a quiet guy, but he's a worker, and if that doesn't pan out, you got Rory McDeese, who's a young guy that's going to start at the quarterback for our JV. He's another Ike Hall kind of kid as a sophomore. We want to keep him on the JV if we can, and we want him to go get 10 wins and learn leadership and just develop into that guy, because who knows who the next guy's going to be. But he has the opportunity, with his leg, because he has a dominant leg for a kid going into his sophomore year. He'll get some looks as well. But I think we're going to be just as strong as we've been in the kicking game. Where those two will lack is the experience of the pressure that comes from Friday night. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a lot easier to go kick a ball when you got it sitting on a tripod, or to let someone snap it and kick it when you're just out there doing it. But when you're playing at Gordonwood Stadium and the place is packed and everybody's loud and the ball game's on the line, you'd hope that both of those kids have ice in their veins like Junior did, and I think that those two guys will easily have that.
Of course, as we mentioned, practice starts Monday. Any final words before y'all get going?
Yeah, a couple of things. I just want to remind people you can get tickets. If you're a current season ticket holder and you want to get your tickets from Miss Hasso at the central office, her office is moved over there for the ticket sales with construction and all that. You can do that, 8 to 12, 1:30 to 4:30. That's through Friday. So it's going to go on through to Friday. It's usually Thursday, but she had been out a day, so she's going to make that day up. So though you can still get your tickets if you're a current season ticket holder. And then also with our practice schedule, we'll start on the 5th at 7 o'clock in the morning. Our kids will be there ready to go. We'll be out on the field at 6:58, and we'll blow that first whistle at 7 o'clock, probably practice for an hour and a half. 2.5 hours. That gives us breaks and everything that we need. And then the kids will be done, and the coaches will need to do what they do to be educators. On day 2, which is Tuesday the 6th, we have our convocation, which is the entire district at the high school. So we'll do that from 8 to 10, and then we'll start practice at 10:30 that day. Other than that, until school starts, we're on a 7 o'clock start schedule at the high school.
All right. Anything else we need to hit today, Coach?
Yeah, let's thank those that make this show possible. Autoglass Magic, Bruner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bon Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investments, Hendrick Medical, Howard Enterprises, Humphrey Peets, Heartland Funeral Home, Landmark Admin, MC Bank, Painter Johnson Associates, Smith & Sharp Agency, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Wendy's Tickets.
All right. Next time we will be talking to you, the first practice will be under the belts of the Brownwood Lions here on the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show on KOXE, KOXE.com, and the KOXE app.
Have a great day, Brownwood.